We told you last segment that in several ways, income inequality is more pronounced than ever under President Obama. Tonight, senior political analyst Brit is here with some thoughts about that. Good evening, Brit.
Hi, Brett. It is hard not to marvel at the audacity of a man who, after 5 years in office, identifies as, quote, the defining challenge of our time, an income gap that, as you've heard, has steadily widened since he's been in office. But income inequality has long been a preoccupation of Democrats, to the point that it sometimes seems they'd prefer everyone be equally poor than unequally rich. That's an exaggeration, of course, but it points to a key difference in the way the left and right view the economy. The left tends to see it as a zero-sum game, in which one person's financial gain is someone else's financial loss. The right tends to see the economy as a pie, which can be enlarged so that everyone has more of it, even if their share of it remains the same or even declines. This is why conservative economic policies tend to emphasize growth over equality. Perhaps the greatest failure of this administration's policies has been their inability to foster the kind of robust economic recovery that this country has repeatedly experienced in the aftermath of recessions past. Thus, unemployment hovers in the 7% range, and more people aren't counted in that because so many have dropped out of the workforce that labor force participation rate is now the lowest in nearly 40 years. I suspect that most of those out of a job wouldn't mind if some people got richer, if they could just get work. And isn't that the real defining challenge? Brett?
A lot of the origin of this, Brit, kind of revolves around Fed policy.
It does. Ben Bernanke has kept interest rates extremely low. That drives people out of the bond market, where they can't get a good return, and into the stock market, where even in a weak economy offers the potential of better returns. That driving money into the stock market obviously drives prices up. People who own a lot of stocks, which tend to be the top 1% or top earners in this country, get richer. And unless the policies work like crazy, the economy doesn't recover fully, the people at the bottom are left out. And
there's no prospect that Janet Yellen is somehow going to change dramatically what Ben Bernanke has done.
Not unless the economy, which is after all a force of nature and can operate pretty well in severe headwinds, begins to grow in the way that we're accustomed to seeing it growing after recessions, and she then becomes afraid that inflation will break out and begins to raise interest rates again, which would change the balance a bit. But make no mistake about it, the rich getting richer in this is to some extent a reflection of Fed policy, which of course the president has never objected to.
All right, Brett, thank you.
You bet.